Hi everyone. If you've been watching me up to this point, you would notice I have no filter in terms of expression. I'm not talking about like a filter for my face. I'm talking about an actual filter through what's coming out. There's no more filters. Those days are over. No more keeping things hidden or secret anymore because I don't know. They say everyone has secrets, but there comes a point in your life where when you keep so much to yourself, it's just not, it doesn't get anywhere. You know what I mean? It needs to be expressed. And I'm my own woman and I don't let anything take that away from me. Certain tragic things befall on people. Um, Certain people are born into tragic situations or families, and some things we don't have control over. So when I say I create my fate on the hex witchery through this name that I use, that I'm turning into a business, what it basically means is I create my life with what the universe is giving me, pushing me into. That's what it means. Okay? We cannot determine what's going to happen on the path of this journey, in a sense of things can come in a split second and alter, but we change, we shift, and we make decisions on how we do things. And so basically all my life I had to live up to these virtues and these values that were only benefiting other people, not me. It was benefiting my family, it was benefiting so-called friends, it was benefiting everybody that was trying to rob me in my power and literally my virtues, physical virtues, spiritual, moral, everything. And maybe my life is in reversed in a sense of the second portion of my life, meaning, late 30s, 40s, moving onwards, my life becomes more who I truly am, in a sense of who I am supposed to be, without the superficiality or the demands of expectations of family and partners and people and corporations and placed on me because I'm alone. So since I've lived the first half of my life always for, you know, the benefit and the support of my family members, the benefit and support of everything else that was outside of me that I couldn't, there was only so much that I could exercise in terms of alter or direct, whether it was me being underage at the time or, and all this shit would happen. There was only so much I could exercise, due to my living situations. Living in Canada is not easy, okay? It's just not. You cannot be successful in Canada because what does that mean? You're a working, like your whole life consists of working and paying taxes. That's not real success. There's, the law, everything about Canada. I was so disgusted. That's not a country I ever want to go back to. And each province is different, but Ontario and Toronto, where I grew up, no. In every way, shape, or form, no. Just the whole law, the system, it's just it always has been corrupt, it's always going to be corrupt. There's no way. And you can't be successful. Everyone is just, mm-mm. Um, I remember when I was 15 up until when I was like 19, I used to shave my eyebrows. I had no eyebrows because of my stresses. That was my way of expressing my stresses. I didn't have tattoos then. I would wear a lot of makeup. I would color my hair. Yeah, I have to be very mindful that the entire world is changing right now, and it's been changing for the past how many years, okay? Ever since 9/11, a lot of things have been changing in North America for the worse, okay? And we're at a point in history where certain areas of the world are far better, okay? In certain things. So some things in my channel here, like I'm doing kind of like a documentary type of thing, but again, the intention is whatever happens, it's how what I do with myself, what we do with ourselves after. So, for example, when I was a lot younger and I was underage, and I was saying when I was younger and I experienced statutory rape because I was fully drugged to the point where literally my entire body was numb. I couldn't move, I couldn't walk, I couldn't get up, I couldn't even do this. Um, and I was underage. You know, by the law, you have to get checked up, which I did. I should have received psychological support. My family didn't want me to receive any type of support, so the condemnation was coming from my family more than the actual rape itself. The trauma continued for years and years and years because of the way my family dealt with it and how my mom would get my brother to beat me up regularly so I don't go the wrong direction. Abandoned and neglected by family. If I was to speak up, my family would kill me and stone me to death. I could just never understand why I was so understanding, loving, and forgiving of my family when they didn't want the best for me. They wanted the best for themselves. If they wanted the best for me, they wouldn't tell me to shush. They wouldn't tell me to keep quiet. They wouldn't care about what people thought if I did. They wouldn't want to force me to get married to any asshole that was trying to hurt me, which they were. It was a continuation. And then when they did hurt me, my mom and or anyone else would say I deserved it. Till this day, if someone tries to hurt me, she says you deserve it, Talat. So that whole family, that country, Canada, and my family that all live there, no, they're all done. I'll never speak to them ever again. And it took me 18, 19 years when I should have cut that out 18, 19 years ago. Sorry, excuse me, over 20 years ago. Why I even left that house and was put in a situation where that even happened to me when I was young was, you have to understand, when I was a little girl, my family was never there for me. I wasn't properly fed. So when I became a teenager, I had to walk to school every day, back and forth. Again, I didn't have food. Internally, I was experiencing death on a regular basis. Physically, I looked like a rebel because I never would give in to or listen to any school or society or teachers, but I was forced to be there because I wasn't even supposed to be at that academic school. When I was in elementary school, there was going to be a bus that would bring me home and come in front of my house to take me so I could be a hairstylist for free through that school. But my mom said, no, I'm not signing it. My daughter deserves to be punished. So because no one was there for me, no one taught me anything in school in my family. No one was there at all. And my mom's constant response was, if you don't like it, get the fuck out of this house. Get the fuck out of my house. Get the fuck out of my life. When are you going to die? When you get raped? It was constant, 24/7. 24/7 hatred, screaming coming out from my mother's mouth and her heart. They were never there. She was never there. My dad was always sick in the hospital, and my mom was always working, and my sister never gave a shit either because she was always with a boyfriend, and my brother was helping my mom. So realistically, I didn't have that safety or that upbringing of loving and support. And for some reason, I still kept my mouth shut because I felt it was family duty to keep my mouth shut, as if these are my children. You know? When I was only harming myself, I was hurting myself in the long run because I was betraying the fact that these are abusers. So even though I knew the truth, oh, look how my hair looks nice. Even though I knew the truth deep down that that's not a family, and there was so much hatred because my mom would try to hit me, and I remember I was probably 14 years old or 15, where I striked back at my mom for the first time in my life, where I punched her. She couldn't handle the physical impact that I left on her, okay? It's like if you teach a child from a young age to beat, you know, my brother was like 6'1" in height. He used to physically hurt me. He'd break the door down. He'd literally physically hit me all the time. My mom would hit me. You're training your daughter to be like that. And they wanted me to be an abuser. They never wanted me to get psychological support. Hell, they never wanted me to be intelligent. That was their aim. They wanted me to be stupid. I can't take back all those years of my life that have been taken from me. I can't take back my youth. I can't take back my purity in that aspect. I can't take back all those opportunities of help and support I could have received from people that could have actually genuinely cared for me. But I can always take my power back by being genuine and to never sacrifice myself or betray myself ever again. And I make these videos now with no filters anymore because I've promised myself I'm always going to be genuine from now on, and it's about me and it's about you, that if you experience these things, to make it about you, not about anyone else anymore. It's not about them. This is not about me trying to promote myself or to make money through being a psychologist or a therapist or a Reiki master and to offer my services. This is a genuine expression of my body, mind, and soul and my heart, mainly my spirit, my energy, and my heart speaking that I deserve to give myself recognition for every single fucking thing I've had to endure and keep quiet about just to protect my family's reputation. No more. Never again. And people such as that, everywhere in the world, they deserve the worst fate. I used to forgive people like that. I used to pray for people like that so that they wake up and they change their behaviors, but realistically, no one can force them. Not even the concept of God can change them. That's just how they are. That's who they are. And please don't sit there and tell me that God creates rapists. No, but they choose to repeatedly stay in that hot mess and lie to themselves that they don't make an error or a mistake. And they deny it. And people like that deserve to be condemned because they want nothing but the worst for others. And in my case, my family, for me. Do you know, in the wintertime in December, for the first time, my mom, around December 2022, my mom sends a box from Canada with gloves, which I already have, with underwear and clothing. No letter, nothing. And I couldn't stop crying because I feel like she's mocking me. That's what people do for the victims fleeing their houses in Artsakh. People go and they donate clothing or buy clothing for them. She clearly knows I can go to any store in Gumri and buy myself socks and underwear and gloves. And she filled up the box with that. And at that point, she knows I'm working and she knows no letter. And it's just like, who are you making fun of? I bought a house on my own in Gyumri, Armenia without you. What makes you think I need fucking underwear for $1? I could buy underwear myself. I don't need additional underwear and socks. This is obviously her showing me how unworthy I am to her. And she expects me to talk to her because she doesn't have anybody as a punching bag anymore. She cannot even say sorry for what she's done to me. Ever. She'll never admit it. Because she lies to herself and she lies to everyone else. And she thought that I would talk to her because she sent me socks and underwear. It's too late. And, she's a 70-year-old woman now. She's lied to everyone. I remember I was 15 years old, probably about 2-3 months after the rape incident. One of my mom's friend's daughters, who was probably like 5 to 10 years older than me, she said, come over, Tala, let's go grab some chips. She went to the grocery store, she bought me some chips. And she said, let's watch a movie at my house, So I went over to her place. She goes, I know you're always alone at home and, your mom doesn't let you go out and have friends and there's hardly any food there because your mom's always working. Just come stay with me, So I went. And she started asking me questions. She's like, so what do you like to do? And so I started telling her some of my interests. And then she's like, do you do any drugs? And I said, no. She's like, you don't? I'm like, no. So she started asking me all these other things, and she's like, oh my God. She's like, Tala, you're a normal teenage girl expressing it and wanting to be doing artistic things. And your mother is talking so much shit that you're evil and you're not a good kid and you're bad. She's like, you're a normal kid. And she was so shocked. She went back to my mom and she's like, what is wrong with you? So you have to understand that a lot of people did stay away from my mom, and all her friends, they've gotten rid of her. Not because of me, but they can. So a little bit off topic, but a lot of people here, like when they talk to me, they're like, the words on your face are very deep and meaningful. They don't know my stories. Some of them may be partial. But they're like, the words on your face are very deep and meaningful. And I'm like, yes, because I live through meaning. My life circumstances have not allowed me to live a normal life and be a normal person. So I always redirect people by, listen, if you're going to judge people because humans judge, please take a look in the mirror and start there. Live an authentic, genuine life. If you can't do it for others or with others, for yourself. So no family, no society, no organization is ever going to tell me how to be or how I should